Good morning. I was listening to the internet, another video about the possibility that our ancestors was actually right. Modern scientists are coming into terms that actually ancient metaphysics is very correct, is very rational and logical about the universe and the nature of reality and consciousness. They are coming into terms that yes, we are all connected, and it's almost like the cosmos is like a neural network, and a sort of dream state is projected, like you know, like hologram, almost like a dream-like state, and we are living it right now. So anyway, they are not very authentic. They ought to give credit where credit is due because metaphysicians from the oldest text been talking about this, and even older, because we don't know the origin. Yeah, the oldest texts come from India, from Sanskrit, you know, and back in those days they were already talking about it. So this part here, I was reading and I thought to myself, you know what? This could be an antidote for depression. So I'm going to read it a little bit. It is from this point of view that Maester Eckhart speaks of the man who knows himself as, quote, seeing thyself in everyone and everyone in thee, end quote. As the Bhagavad Gita speaks of the unified man as, quote, everywhere seeing the same Lord universally hypostasized, the self established in all beings and all beings in the self, end quote. Were it not that whatever we do to others is thus really done to ourself, that is also their self, there would be no metaphysical basis for any doing to others as we would be done by. This principle is implicit in the rule and only more explicit elsewhere. The command to quote unquote hate our relatives must be understood from the same point of view. Quote unquote others are no more valid objects of love than the I am. It is not as our relatives or neighbors that they are to be loved, but as ourself, just as it is only Himself that God loves in us. So it is God we ought to love in one another. It's talking about respect. Respect each other. Respect the spiritual self in each other. Do not get, you know, blocked by what you are seeing. Try to see through people. Try to see the spiritual self, right? And you will easily, see it through their actions, through their karma, through their actions, through their doings. So I'm going to read the quote from Hermes. So, quote, a man out of charity, a man out of charity ought to love himself more than he loves any other person, more than his neighbor. Mutual love is not of one another as such, but of the immanent spiritual self. So, loving the spiritual self, see pass through the limitations, the psychophysical, see through the ego and, you know, all of these conflictuous thoughts and emotions that we have, see through all of that and really go and deep and love that person sitting in your heart, that spiritual self. Yes. I suppose when you love yourself, it would be like an antidote for depression. Like many psychologists, therapists say, depression could be hate of oneself, you know, anger and hate towards the self. I believe it to be true. Yeah. So when you see through the bullshit, the appearances, and really, you know, look and see the spiritual and love the spiritual in everybody, the spiritual is presence in everybody. Yeah. In everything. Uh, so anyway, um, the famous line, that thou art, or tatvamasi in Sanskrit, know yourself. You are this, you are that. That is you. I think the translation is something like that. That is you. The self is, the spiritual is connected in everything, you know. So trying to harm yourself or trying to harm others instead, if you try to harm others, you are actually harming the self, you know. The reason why they put in the entrance of the temples, know thyself, and you couldn't enter if you don't, if you didn't know the answer. When they ask you, who are you, do you know yourself, the answer is simple: I am you and you are me. He's talking about the spiritual connection that everybody they call God, you know, is. Everybody is connected, you know. It is the Lord and only the one who, like Plato says, let me read here a little bit of Plato. The soul of man is immortal, and at one time comes to an end, which is called dying away, and at another is born again, but never perishes, and having been born many times, has acquired the knowledge of all and everything. He's talking about the spiritual self that goes from body to body. The soul of man is immortal, you know, but not to confuse, all right, not to confuse with the psychophysical. Okay, I think I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Tell me what you guys think. Have a nice day.